much time each thing you need to do will take, and have it much time each thing you need will take. I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. Check. Check. Check.
Testing. Testing. Check. 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 Check.
Hi. Okay, we're going to start here in a second. Just 1 second. Check, check, check. Okay. I think we're ready. 1 second. Okie dokie. I'm ready if you are. Okay. Now let me put this into the proper mode. We're going to turn off that crawl at the bottom. We're going to turn on the little camera up there. See me up in the corner? And we're going to go into slideshow mode. There we go. Hi there. I'm Bob Dr. Mac Levitas. I'm the founder and creator of Working Smarter for Mac Users. This is our live workshop, our weekly live workshop. Here's what I do. I show Mac users of all skill levels, okay, how to do more work in less time so they have more time for the things they love. That's my deal. That's what I do. So here's my promise to you. In this 1-hour workshop, I'm going to show you 3 simple techniques. I call them working smarter techniques. These techniques, I promise, are going to save you at least 15 minutes a day, every day, for the rest of your life, for free. Why? Because it's what I do. All right. Every day for the rest of your life. I'm serious. 15 minutes. Think about how many minutes that adds up to. I got to tell you, though, working smarter, this whole working smarter thing is unlike anything I've ever done before. I've always worked within the confines of traditional media. I've had a publisher and an agent, and other people did everything else. All I did was write. And I like that, but it turns out in this day and age, that's not a real good business model anymore. And I felt like I was removed from the people I was supposed to be helping. I didn't know them. They weren't on my mailing list. They weren't people that could email me easily. And they just, you know, when you sell a book through a publisher, you have no connection to the reader. When I sell a book to you, an ebook or a course to you, I have a connection to you. I know your email address and you know mine. And that's a big deal to me. I like working with people I know. Unlike anything else I've ever done, unlike anything I know of. And I guarantee I can help you finish almost any task on your Mac better, faster, and more elegantly, and save you countless wasted hours. I'm sorry, wasted hours. So you might be thinking, is working smarter for me? Well, let me tell you, working smarter is for Mac users of any skill level who want to do more work in less time, be more efficient, manage their time and activities better, and or procrastinate less. If you make a living sitting in front of a Mac, I guarantee 100% you're going to benefit from working smarter for Mac users. You're going to learn to do more work in less time, and you're going to have more time for the things you love. Okay? Now, working smarter, I look at it as having 3 legs, the 3 parts. And the first part is efficiency, improving your efficiency. Examples of this are everything you do on your Mac that could be done faster or more efficiently. So learning to improve all of the things that you do on your Mac so that they're all done in the least possible amount of time and with the most convenience. Easy. That's the idea. Easy and automated and fast. All right. So there's your efficiency. Then the middle leg is managing your activities. I don't say time management because I don't believe there is such a thing. Time passes in a strictly linear fashion at a rate of 1,440 minutes per day. Okay? You can't change that. You can't manage that. So time management's a misnomer. Activity management. You can manage your activities and how you perform them within the confines of time. So managing your activities is really important to know that there's only 1,440 minutes in the day. How are you going to use them? If you don't have a plan, you're not going to use them well. Finally, banishing procrastination. That's maybe the most important and toughest for many people. And for me, having ADHD, let me tell you, procrastination used to be a real problem for me, but I figured it out. It took me a long time, but I figured it out. And the idea is this. When you combine these three legs, you become a raging thunder lizard of productivity. You can work fewer hours, and you can get more done in less time than ever before. So let me tell you about what it was like when I started out as a writer. I've been a freelance writer, writing books and columns for almost 30 years. And in the beginning, I'd sold some books. You might remember Stupid Mac Tricks, or any of my dummies books, or some of those Bible books that I wrote, Office Bible, and there was an iLife Bible, Dr. Macintosh, all of the Mac OS 10 for Dummies books, all of the Mac OS 8 and 9 for Dummies books, and some of the Mac OS 7, I think. I've been doing this a really, really long time. In the beginning, it was really hard for me. I never missed a deadline, but I would work 16, 17, 18 hours every day. I was up from, I worked from breakfast time until midnight most days, and I never got ahead. I was always just barely keeping my head above water to meet my deadlines and my obligations. And then about 20 years ago, I found out I have ADHD or ADD. Attention deficit disorder or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Either way, I have it, and according to my shrink, I have it in abundance. I could be the poster child for adult ADHD. So I read this book. A friend of mine said, "You should read this book. I think you have ADD." And I didn't even know what it was. I read the book, and boy, it seemed to describe me. I went to the doctor. The doctor did the testing and said, "Oh my goodness." He again, like I said, I had so many of the pointers or whatever they call them that he said he didn't think he had ever seen anybody that was as absolutely ADHD as me. And that explained so much. It explained, why I couldn't keep my butt in the chair and why I spent 18 hours doing 5 hours of work, which is kind of what I figured out afterwards. And I realized at that point I was going to have to do something if I wanted to continue living the life I wanted to live, which was not having a boss, not having an office, not having to go somewhere and do something I didn't want to do. I wanted to write books about technology. And so I realized I was going to have to figure out how to keep my butt in the chair, how to be more efficient, or I was going to burn out. So let me ask you this. What's your biggest frustration when you're sitting in front of your Mac? What is your biggest frustration? What do you think that you could do better and get out of the office earlier? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to pause for a minute out of the slideshow, but here's the thing. I can't see if you're typing in the chat box while I am... Okay, there we go. So, here's the thing. I want you to type into the chat box when I ask questions, and then I will pause periodically and respond to them. But I can't see them while I'm in the middle of the slideshow. So if you see me in the upper right corner, which corner is it? I'm up here. Hi. If you see me up in the corner, then that means I can't see you. If you see me full screen, like this, I can see you and you can see me. So when I'm in the corner, I can't really see you because of the way Keynote works and locks both of my screens while the slideshow is running. And we need to run the slideshow, so we're going to go back to that now. Here we go. And what is your biggest frustration? Please type it in the chat box. We'll talk about it next time I take a break. All right. But before we move on to the cool Mac stuff that's going to save you 15 or more minutes a day, every day for the rest of your life, I have one thing to show you. Don't leave early. If you leave early, you're going to miss out on the best deal ever on my Working Smarter online course and ebook. This workshop is going to be available for replay, but the replay will not include the special offer. The special offer is only for you folks who showed up here and are attending in real time. And now on to my Working Smarter techniques. Here's technique number 1. Ready? This is snippets and why they rock. Okay, so snippets, here's the thing. Every day you type a bunch of words, phrases, sentences, paragraphs, over and over again. Things like your email address, your phone number, your snail mail address, very truly yours, or however you like to sign off letters, your name, your company's name, product names, things like that. You type them 1,000,000 times a day. Sometimes you mistype them. Sometimes you type them inaccurately. And no matter what, it takes you as long as it takes you to type that many characters. So if it's a long thing, if it's a whole sentence, it could take you as much as a minute or 2 to type it. All right, so now here's what snippets are. Snippets let you take all of those things that you type regularly, often, and reduce them to a short abbreviation or a shortcut. So when you type some, say a 2-letter or 3-letter code for example, when I want to type my email address, I type BLC, Bob Levitas at boblevitas.com. Gets typed. Snippets are faster, they're easier, and they're more accurate than typing it yourself. If you type it more than a few times a day, your email address, your home or work address, your signature, anything you type repetitively, your Mac can type it faster, easier, and more accurately than you can. So snippets will save you both time and effort, and they will help prevent embarrassing typos, especially in things that are important like your phone number, your email address. You don't want to give somebody the wrong stuff, okay? So snippets work on that first leg, efficiency. And here's the thing. There are apps that let you make snippets and manage snippets and do lots of cool stuff with snippets, but you don't need them. You can get started using macOS 10. Snippets are built right in. They're called shortcuts, but you'll see. Ready? So here's how you do it. First, launch System Preferences and click Keyboard. See keyboard's lit up there? Okay. Then click the Text tab up at the top. Now click the little plus button at the bottom of the bottom left. There it is. And finally, type the snippet on the left, the abbreviation or shortcut on the left, and what you want that shortcut to trigger on the right, or what you want it to type. So when I type BW, my Mac will type bob@workingsmarterformacusers.com, which is like 54 characters. That would take me almost a minute to type at my current rate of typing. So you type the snippet on the left, you type the expansion or what you want it to type on the right, and then here's how it works, okay? Now, when you type the snippet, BW, right, there it is, as soon as I press the space bar or a punctuation mark, it expands instantly into bob@workingsmarterformacusers.com, and it's that fast. All right, so that's how you do it on your Mac. The problem is on your Mac, if you remember, that you just have 2 little teeny fields. I use a program that gives you a lot of control over what happens when you type your abbreviation or your snippet and how it expands. You can you have more control over uppercase, lowercase. You can add fill in the blank questions. You can have pop-up menus. There's a lot of stuff to it. So I use a program called Text Expander, and in the last 4 months, it saved me over 12 hours. So right there, look at that. How many 4 months, 12 hours is 3 hours a month, is almost an hour a week. Even if it's only 30 minutes a week, that's a lot of time for a little program that it's a subscription deal. I think it's $4 a month or $3 a month. It saved me over 12 hours in 4 months. If you work for yourself or you bill your hours in any way, shape, or form, think about what 12 hours means. For example, I bill $150 an hour for consulting. All right, so Text Expander allowed me to have $1,800 more time to do something else. In other words, it kept me from spending all of that time doing less productive stuff, and allowed me to have that time available to sell for $150 an hour. So which way do you want to do it? Oops. Which way do you want to do it? The hard way, the old way, the typing a lot, or do you want to do it the easy way with snippets? So please, now, here's one of those opportunities to type something in the chat so I can see it. And let's see what's going on there. Okay. So, time for, go ahead and type them in there, and I will get back to you with them in a moment. Next, working smarter technique number 2, take time to plan and get more work done. A goal without a plan is just a wish, right? So have you ever spent more time figuring out what you needed to do than you actually spent doing whatever it was you were going to do? Having a plan really helps. So one of the things I've found is that you need to know what's important and what really needs to get done so that you can do those things before you do other less important things. So I identify each day usually 3 most important tasks, 3 things that are on my plate that must be done today. They're not things that are negotiable that I can procrastinate on and do in a few days. These are things that I want to finish today. A plan helps me do that. And so when I identify these most important tasks, I almost always get them done on the day I want to get them done. They don't end up lingering for weeks. All right? I assign blocks of time to tasks. So when I set up my day, when I'm trying to decide what work I'm going to do, I take I'll show you this form in a few minutes. In fact, you can download it and use it yourself for free. But the deal for me is I use time blocking. I allow an hour usually for 2 25-minute work sessions on any project that requires more than a few minutes of my time. I'll finish more work in less time when I have a plan, always. And so here's the thing. I used to use to-do lists, and when it got to be about 12 pages long, I realized it was ineffective. I would cherry pick the easiest or most fun thing to do, finish it, beat my chest like proudly, and really I wasn't doing what was important. I was doing what was convenient or fun or easy. So working with a plan like this for every day, and I literally create one. Hold on, I'll show you. I create one for every day. Here's just a few of them. Most of them are in the file cabinet, but I save them so I can go back over and see what I was working on last month and if I had forgotten anything. So that's what the form looks like. I call it Super Plan, and it's downloadable. I'm going to give you the URL at the very end. I don't want to stop now and have you leave to go download that. And I know, if you're like me, that will be a rabbit hole that you'll dive down and not pay attention to the rest of this presentation. So I won't tell you where to get it until later. But a plan helps you manage your activities. So that's the second leg. And really, planning is so important. We can't manage time, but we can manage how we use our time. Guy Kawasaki, You know who he is? He was the chief evangelist at Apple for a long time. Now he's the chief evangelist for Canva, and he's a Mercedes-Benz brand ambassador. Said the day after he read this book, he started working on his next book, and he'll finish it because of my book. That's some powerful stuff. Guy Kawasaki is not a guy who doesn't get stuff done. He's done a lot in his life, and he's written a lot of books, and well, anyway, the stuff really works. That's the point. So I want you to download my free productivity planning worksheet, Superplan, but I'm not going to give you the URL until the end. Okay? So what I want to know, type this into the chat box. Are you going to try making a plan? Is that something that you think will help you? All right? All right, now there's one more leg of working smarter. So we've talked about efficiency, and we've talked about managing activities within time. Now let's talk about the final leg, or procrastination. Here's a surefire way to not procrastinate. It's called the Pomodoro, or the Pomodoro technique, or the Pomodoro, I don't know. Pomodoro is Italian for tomato, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. There's a slide that'll show you. Anyway, the hardest part of writing is keeping your ass in the chair. That was American novelist Wallace Stegner said that, I think in the 50s. The secret to writing a screenplay is keeping your ass in the chair. That was Academy Award winning director Oliver Stone, I think in the 80s. The secret to getting stuff done is keeping your ass in the chair. Bob Dr. McLevitis, and I have no idea when I first said that, but I've been saying it since I found the Wallace Stegner quote probably 30 years ago. I always had trouble keeping my ass in the chair, and I didn't realize that there were ways to avoid not keeping your ass in the chair. One of them, my favorite probably, is the Pomodoro. Here's how it works. The Pomodoro technique tells you to work for 25 minutes, and exactly 25 minutes with a timer. And only work on one thing. That means turning off all of your things that go ding, or things that put up notifications. If you're working on something that is a written piece, then you write. You don't go on the internet. If you're doing research, maybe you do go on the internet, but you don't do anything other than the single task you're focusing on. 25 minutes, the timer goes off, you go, okay, and you take a short break, and then you start another 25-minute session. Here's the thing, though. If you're interrupted, or you leave if your butt leaves the chair, you have to start your 25-minute session over. So you don't want to do that, so you try to consciously avoid getting off track. Because if you get off track and you're being fair with yourself, you have to start over, and you don't want to do that. So there's a million Pomodoro apps on the Mac. I mean, really, page after page after page. But I use one. It was $5 when I got it. Now it's free. It's called ZoneBox, and what I like about it are two things. One, it puts these purple lines, or purple, I guess you call it progress bars, both in the window of ZoneBox itself, that's the one on the left, and then in the menu bar. It fills in the menu bar with purple to let me know how much time is remaining. I like that. That's important to me. The other thing is, it's got two little time readouts that tell me exactly how many minutes are remaining. In this case, it's 13 minutes. So I really like ZoneBox. It lets me plan out my whole day. First, I just type in what I'm going to do, and do them each for 25 minutes, and use the timers built in. And when I'm done, I delete the task. It's awesome. It will make you so much more productive. You will waste less time, guaranteed. See, there's the tomato I was talking about. So you put the Pomodoro technique into practice for yourself. I promise you will waste a lot less time, as long as you're being honest with yourself. And finally, this works on the last leg, procrastination. So if you're doing the Pomodoro, you're not procrastinating if you're doing it right. Okay? So Pomodoros, along with time blocking, which is, writing stuff down when you're going to do it, not just what needs to be done, but when you plan to do that, and then trying to stick to your plan. That is the combination that is a game changer. It's a monster. This is one of my courses, one of my students, and he's more productive, effective, and he's fallen in love with his Mac again. I mean, how great is that? Wouldn't you love that? Who wouldn't love that? Are you ready to be a raging thunder lizard of productivity? Are you? Because I can help you be that. Type your answer into the chat box. I'm gonna get back to that in a moment. All right? And now I have another question for you. I want you to type this in the chat box too. Why are you here today? Are you as efficient as you'd like to be when you use your Mac? Do you think you could spend less time working and more time doing things you like doing? Do you think it's possible to banish procrastination forever? And the big question, don't you want to be a raging thunder lizard of productivity? All right, we're going to pause while I read some of these things in the chat boxes, but we'll be right back with our previously scheduled show. Hi, I'm back. All right, I'm going to check the chat box. Okay, over here, yeah. You don't have any questions? All right. Well, we'll go back to the slideshow now. Ready? Turn that camera off. And back to slides. So let me just ask you this. Don't you want to be a raging thunder lizard of productivity? All right, so now you've been here a while. You've heard me talk about a few ways that you can be more productive. And you're probably wondering by now, what can I do to get such results? And the answer is, you really have two choices. You can do it the old slow way, which is frustrating and doesn't get you results really. Or you can do it the fast way by working smarter. And I have created a fast way to go the fast way. The solution is Working Smarter for Mac Users. It's an online course as well as an ebook. Okay? And in both, I show Mac users how they can do more work in less time so they can have more time for things they love. Working Smarter for Mac Users is for almost anybody of any skill level who works on a Mac. Really, I've written dozens of For Dummies books, and I know how to write clearly and concisely without jargon. I know how to present these topics in a way that you'll understand no matter what your level of familiarity with the Mac. If you think you could be doing more work in less time, I'm certain you could. Let me show you just how I could help. So the online course, Working Smarter for Mac Users, has 73 short lessons. They're all less than 10 minutes long, and most of them are under 5 minutes long. And they're broken into 3 parts that should by now be familiar. You've got the 3 parts there, 73 lessons, all 10 hours of instructions in all. Now, there's lots of people that have classes, and there's lots of classes around by people both that you've heard of and never heard of. In a lot of cases, they are just reading a script. I am too, but I wrote, produced, and edited every lesson myself. So everything that comes out is stuff that I want to be in there. There were no compromises because I'm the only one doing any of this. So you got 3 parts, 73 lessons, right? And I produced and edited every single word in every single lesson, and I did all the voiceovers, all the editing. So in about 10 hours, you're going to learn every trick I know for becoming more efficient on your Mac, managing your activities in time, and avoiding procrastination. Now, the lessons are optimized for all kinds of viewing. You can view them on almost any device that can access the internet. You just use a web browser on your Mac, your iPhone, your iPad, your Apple TV if you care to. It's easy to watch your lessons on any device you like, and they're optimized to look good on all of your devices. So if you find yourself with 5 minutes or 10 minutes somewhere, pull out your iPhone, put in your headphones, watch a lesson, learn something. Here's another thing. A lot of these courses have minions to answer your questions if you have them. Each of our lessons has a discussion board, and I am the one that answers your questions. And usually I answer them within a few hours, or at least during the same day. And know that it's me because it's not one of my minions. How do I know that? I don't have any minions. I'm a solopreneur. I'm the only one here. So when you take my course, when you sit in my classrooms, when you ask a question on the discussion board, you're dealing directly with me. Nobody else, because I don't have any minions. Now, here's the good news. The course normally sells for $4.99, okay? And because you're so awesome and you came to my workshop and you've already learned a couple of techniques, I'm going to give you 60% off. You're going to pay just $199 for this 10 hours of instruction, 73 lessons. So don't delay. This one-time offer is going to expire at midnight on Sunday. Don't delay. And while there will be the replay of the workshop, the offer will not be included. So let me wrap things up for you, okay? If you spend too much time chasing rabbits down rabbit holes, if you procrastinate when you know you should be working, regardless of what your rabbit holes are, whether it's Facebook, eBay, Etsy, tabloid newspaper websites, or even cat videos on YouTube. No matter what, you're going to learn to do more work in less time every day, I guarantee it. And I not only guarantee it, I guarantee it 100% with a money-back guarantee, 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not becoming more productive within 30 days, you can ask for a your money will be cheerfully refunded. Nobody's done that yet. Imagine this. You could finish all of your work before sundown every day for the rest of your life. All of it. Look at that. In the hot tub before the sun goes down. Imagine how good that feels. I can tell you, it feels awesome. Every day I know how happy it makes me not to work until 11 or 12 at night. You've got nothing to lose and so much to gain. Now here's what happens when you enroll, okay? First, you'll get a welcome email from me almost immediately with login instructions, and from there you can dive right in. Bookmark the site. Start with the introduction and prelude. They're longer than 10 minutes, but they really set the stage for everything else. Or, if you don't want to hear me blather about how I got this way, dive right into the first lesson. The whole course is available all at once. I don't do that drip thing where you have to finish lesson 1 before you can see lesson 2. I just don't believe in that. It's all available at once. You can binge watch. You can binge learn. You can watch them in sequence. You can watch the ones that interest you the most first, whatever you like. But I recommend watching them all and finishing the course as quickly as possible so you can begin putting that full array of working smarter techniques to work for you as soon as possible. You'll also receive weekly reminders for as long as you have unwatched lessons. So if you'd like to sign up, I'm going to paste the URL here into the chat window. Here, let me do that. All right. And URL. And where's my chat window? There it is. All right, here we go. URL for the course is in the chat window. Enjoy. Okay, there it is. All right. And what else do we got here? Let's see. Okay. Next. Any questions? Anybody got any questions out there? Type them in the chat box. I will answer them. Like I said before, you got nothing to lose and countless hours to gain. Here, look. I've even got a slide with the clock ticking down for you. Ready? You got nothing to lose and countless hours to gain. Look at that fancy clockwork. All right. Now, if you're still on the fence, please express your concerns in the chat box, and I'll do my best to address them right here and right now. And remember, you're dealing with me, not my minions. It's me. All right? And remember that this special offer expires Sunday at midnight. So start working smarter today. For the last time, don't forget, you only have until Sunday at midnight. Start working smarter today. Let me help you become the raging thunder lizard of productivity you should be and could be. And oh yeah, there is one last thing. Here's where you can download your free super plan productivity planning worksheet. I'm going to paste that into the chat notes here. Here we go. The URL into the chat, coming right up. There it is. All right. And if you're, let's see, stand by. Okay, so you've got the URL. It's workingsmarterformacusers.com/free. And finally, here come the thrilling closing credits. Are you ready? Here they are. All right. Thanks for coming to this week's workshop. If you have any more questions, please type them into the chat box and I will answer them before we depart. And if there are no more questions, which it doesn't look like there are right now, well, thanks for tuning in. Well, here, let me go back to the big screen deal. Here we go. Okay. Thanks for coming. I'll be back next Thursday if you want a refresher course. And that's all I got. Have a great day.